spring, or were you kind of okay with it, knowing that it was still early in the process and that you'd be ready for camp?
It was definitely frustrating, but after the first few days of feeling sorry for myself and going through, oh my God, this is happening again, whatever, you get over it and you start improving, and you just keep working. Improved a lot faster than other people thought I would, so it was a good process, and just trying to look at it from a positive lens. Take some strain off my body for that time of the year. Was able to rehab slowly and do it at a real smart pace, and so it was all positive. I mean, it was obviously frustrating in the moment, but I moved on relatively quickly.
When did it happen and how? Remember how it happened?
It was just in D-line drills. Just a weird thing. I think fatigue from maybe doing something the day prior or a few days prior, but don't really know. It just was a minor thing, and moved on from now. Don't even think about it anymore.
Joey, is there something in that process, you talk about getting back from injury, knowing you've been through that before in your career, is there something you found yourself leaning on that kind of gets you mentally still prepared to stay in that moment to get through an injury?
Yeah, I mean, that's, like you said, stay in that moment and take it one step at a time. I think if you're just focused on doing everything to the best of your ability in that moment, whether it's a silly little exercise on the first few days where you're just getting back moving, all the way to getting out on the field and running sprints and starting to really push it again, you just have to take it step by step and be intentional about everything. I think usually with injuries, there's the first few days of wallowing in your own despair. But I mean, it's a calf strain. There's a lot worse things going on in the world. You can get through that, and it was a good time to happen. It's never really a good time to get injured, but relative to later down the year, I look at it as a positive, being able to get closer with the staff here, training staff, strength staff. Now we have a really good working relationship after going through all this together. So I think that'll benefit throughout the year, making sure I'm being smart with my body and then trying to stay healthy and make it through the year.
Joey, now that you've been here a few months, you've interacted, you've been on the field a lot, but still, what is your impression? This team was very intentional about upgrading the D-line, looking for impact players in the pass rush. What are you seeing in the time you've been here so far? Just the culture, like everybody talks about, Buffalo in general, the fans, and just everything surrounding the Bills is you could feel it walking down the street, whatever. You feel it in the building. Everybody has everybody has the same goal, and we all know what that goal is. It's fun to be around a bunch of guys that really want to win and know how to win. So it's exciting for me. I'm just trying to find my way and fit in a little bit, which I haven't had to do in a while. But everybody's been super cool. D-line.
D-line.
As far as that unit and the impact that it could have.
Yeah, I mean, it's day one.
Since you've been here, you've seen guys work as well.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's the entire team. But yeah, Greg and AJ, I'm already close with these guys. So I think the whole group in general. It's been a while since I've been with the whole group of D linemen. So playing outside linebacker over the last few years. So it's fun again being in that environment, being with the big guys in the middle. But yeah, I think if you have a dominant defensive line, you win a lot of games, and your defense plays really well. So it's going to be it's definitely going to be on us to make an impact.
What's it been like for you, this stage of your career, not only a new team, going away to camp, everything around here is new for you. At this stage in your career, what is this experience like with all the newness?
It's nice. It gets repetitive, every year, the same thing over and over again. I loved my time with the Chargers and everything, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, but, I think it was just getting a little redundant, and especially with my injuries over the last few years, I think I needed a fresh start and a new scenery, and Yeah, it's been a really pleasant surprise, getting to know Buffalo, living in Orchard Park. It's been beautiful. I have a yard, I have space to live, and my dog can run around, and we got families of geese in the backyard that we've been following for the past few months now. So it's been fun. My fiance loves it. It's like I said, the fans are amazing. Unless you're at dinner and they're screaming mid-dinner. I can't remember the song, but it was quite the experience. But yeah, it's been fun just getting to know and having that nervousness going in and having to, present yourself to people that you don't know, and just it's been a fun experience that I haven't, it's been 9 years, so it's fun.
Even though you were hurt, you were still around the team while you were rehabbing. How did that help you get more comfortable with the defensive line?
Yeah, I think when you get injured, it's easy to kind of fall in the background, especially during the season. If everybody's grinding and you're kind of in the training room, you're missing meetings, you're doing this and that. So it's obviously important to be around the guys. But yeah, it's great here in Buffalo. Guys, they hang out with each other, and I've probably hung out outside of football more with these guys in the past, it was 6 weeks when I was here than maybe my entire career. I mean, we definitely did things. I hung out with guys, but just feels like guys want to be with each other and they want to bond, and they'll hit you up, oh, we're doing something, we're doing this and that. So it's nice. It's a really good environment, and I feel like I'm already close to a lot of the guys.
Being in the dorms?
Yeah, it's new. It's not new, but it's been a while since I've had to go away for camp, so this is definitely different. The bed is better than I expected, so it's the main thing.
Athletes talk about this all the time, who unfortunately might be dealing with injuries over whatever it is, multiple years. Is there ever a point where how do you get a point where you can trust your body to not, quote, let you down or put you in that position? How have you managed that?
Yeah, I think there hasn't been a time where, I'm expecting to get injured, or I think it's coming, or I don't trust myself. That's the thing that hurts the most, I think, is you do feel great and you feel like you're prepared, and then your body lets you down or whatever, some crazy thing happens. So I think that's the tough part, is putting in so much work and feeling prepared and feeling great and everything going really well, and then it kind of just falling apart really quickly. So, I try not to think about that and be worried about it, because you can't control a lot of the things that happen out there. All you can do is kind of do the best you can, training and preparing and being smart outside of football, off the field, I mean. So yeah, it's I can hope, but football's a chaotic game, and I think if I do everything I can, and if it still doesn't work out, at least I know I tried.
But like today, it's one day, it's one practice, but you were doing what you do.
Oh yeah.
There was never. You're just doing the things you're assigned to do.
Yeah, no doubt. For the most part, I definitely messed up a few plays, but yeah, I feel great. Obviously, if you're out there with some sort of nagging injury, it can be on your mind. But right now, I feel great. I mean, it's been the story of my last 4 years. Camp comes around, everybody asks the same questions. How are you feeling? I say, great, best I have in years. And again, it's best I have in. I mean, I felt great last year too, but this year I definitely feel tip top, and speed's good, strength's good, everything's good. Calf is perfectly fine, no issues at all. So hopefully if I just continue on, then fingers crossed.
Joey, I'm not looking for you to knock the Chargers, but having them gone through various coaching changes, what is your experience going into a team that has continuity, has had a coach for this long, and like you sense, where you coaches have to establish culture, the culture's been instilled here. What is your reaction to that?
No, it's good. I mean, the message is very top-down all the way through every room. Everybody's on the same page. We're all preaching the same things. We all want the same things. So Yeah, we definitely had some changes over at the Chargers a few years, and I finally think Harbaugh last year was doing a really good job instilling that, and I think he's going to probably do it for a long time there. But yeah, it's great. You come in, they know what they're doing, they have a plan. It's not let's figure this out. This is what I know works. Yeah, we can learn and improve, but this is tried and true. And follow this, we're probably going to win a lot of games. And if you work really hard, same thing. So it's nice. It's easy to just come in and trust and do as you're told and give your all.
Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, everybody.
How's it going, everybody? Good to see you guys. Good to be back.
Tell us a little bit about your offseason. Obviously, we know you had an eventful offseason getting married, but I mean, just overall, how it went for you working out and getting back here?
Yeah, just trying to stay in shape. Keep in contact with the guys and make sure that we're on the same page. And just happy to be back here at St. John Fisher. It's year 8. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about it, but get back out there, flying around, red zone day. Things happen really fast. Offensively, didn't put the ball in harm's way today, and throwing the ball away down there, it's a good thing. I know it doesn't look good on the stat sheet for you guys, but had a good day today.
Does today kind of feel like the first day of school?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of nerves. It's mic'd up today. I don't love doing that. I feel like I can't say everything I want to say, but no, it's cool. We know we have Hard Knocks in-house, and every one of them has been so awesome so far, so it's been cool to see them around, and at the end of the day, we do feel like they have our back, so appreciate you guys.
How do you deal with that additional scrutiny? I mean, you've already got the fans looking at you, you got the media here, but how do you deal with the additional scrutiny, and what do you think comes out of it? Knowing that some warts and maybe some blessings could be exposed.
I think it's kind of a wash, in my opinion. Like, we have to go out there and feel like we're still being ourselves and keep the main thing, and that's coming out here, building our football team, trying to be the best players that we can be. And I think it is Coach McDermott's hit it pretty on the head of just like, this is what a good organization looks like, and people are going to get a sneak peek into that and just how we operate. So again, you can kind of think two ways about it, but we're taking the way of like, hey, let's do what we do, and whatever is shown is shown.
So when you try to limit what you say, like fewer F's, or
yeah, try not to cuss as much. I mean, I know it's HBO, so I'm sure it goes on there if they wanted to. But at the same time, just making sure that my mom, anything that I say in there, my mom would be okay with.
Hey Josh, obviously Super Bowl is the goal, but how difficult earlier in your career was it to train your brain that you have to take things day by day, week by week, instead of looking ahead?
I think it kind of goes with anything, right? Like, you can't win the Super Bowl without making the playoffs, and that's our number one goal. That's the standard that Coach McDermott set here for so long, is playoff caliber. You don't get into the playoffs, you don't win the Super Bowl. It's as simple as that. So you have to take every step before that in order to succeed and to have that to accomplish that goal. So again, we're taking it one day at a time. We're just out here trying to get better. It's day one. Don't even have pads on. Acclimating to some of the new guys, and just again being in the dorm room and hanging out with the guys and learning about their lives on a deeper level, and just trying to really build that camaraderie. And I really think that's why we go away from Buffalo and come here to Rochester and St. John Fisher. So that's just one of the steps that we're taking, and that's one of the steps I enjoy the most about this job.
For the last several years, you guys have had a lot of Monday night games, primetime games. You've gone deep in the playoffs. There's been a lot of cameras. Do you think this team is better equipped to handle all these extra cameras around than maybe your teams wouldn't have been in the past, so we're a little bit younger, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I still do think we're a fairly young team, and just making sure that the vets inside our locker room are relaying, like, hey, like, just because there's cameras around, we're not changing who we are, right? We don't need you to be anybody different than who you are, and that's, again, another thing that Coach McDermott's preached here since I've got here. Be yourself. Be you with us, and that's all we're trying to do.
You mentioned acclimating to some of the new guys. Just how did that go day one?
Yeah, obviously routes on air is one thing, and picking a spot and throwing to it. But when you got live bullets and guys out there, it's different. So making sure we're continuing to get reps with Josh Palmer and Elijah Moore, and continuing to get reps with Keon and Dalton and Khalil, and throwing in Curtis. Like, obviously everybody that I can mention, just getting as much reps as possible, because I do think as many reps as we can get, the better.
Josh, you've always said you love training camp. Did you always love it, or did you have to grow into it?
No, I've always loved it. It's just being away, coming here. I mean, every moment you're awake, you're around your teammates, around your friends, around strength staff, getting worked on, and there's no better way to get better at football than here. If you love football, you should love camp, and just hanging out and being around the guys. And I know it's long and it's a lot, and there's people that have kids that want to be with their kids and their families, and I understand that. But at the same time, to accomplish our goals, like, this is a necessary step, in my opinion.
What excites you about Elijah Moore's skill set and his potential role in this offense?
Yeah, I think he's so sudden in and out of cuts. I think that, again, he can play inside and play outside and have that versatility for us. He's a smart guy. He knows his stuff. And he's a fun guy to be around, too.
Dalton said at the beginning of like the offseason part, as he was kind of rehabbing still, that one of his goals was to take your relationship, you and him, to the next level. What went into that this offseason of just maybe working with him specifically, getting together, anything like that?
Yeah, just, again, making sure we're on the same page, constant communication. I know he's been rehabbing quite a bit and making sure that he's been ready to go and, coming out and looking good today. But, again, that relationship, again, with everybody needs to continue to grow and evolve. And I love Dalton like a brother. He's a special human being, and I do believe he's a special player. And I know that he's got so much potential left, and we're just here to try to unlock that and use his abilities to the best of our offense. And
season where you scored 525 points, more than any team in Bill's history. So what has to be better? What can you be better at?
I'm going to answer the red helmets question. Great. They're great. Sorry. Yeah, go back.
So what has to be better? I mean, it's hard to improve on something like that, but in your mind, what has to be better?
Yeah, I mean, I still think going back and looking at film, just a lot of missed opportunities from myself. And I can count probably 3 touchdowns that I missed Dalton on last year. That, again, we make those plays. The whole conversation about Dalton Kincaid this offseason is probably a little bit differently. But I got to be better for us, making sure that we're in the right place, starting my eyes in the right place, and then just getting through my progressions quicker and finding the open man quicker. And still too many times I put the ball in harm's way last year, and I know we limited interceptions quite a bit and turnovers quite a bit. But still think I can improve on that, and that's the fun part.
I saw you coming off the field talking to Josh Palmer, one of your new receivers, with respect to that being a private conversation. Can you kind of share with us what kind of things you guys are going over after a practice on day one?
Yeah, red zone. So working on touchdown plays, really, and fade balls and body language down there in the red zone. Where do you want me to throw this ball? What he's expecting from me. And just, again, making sure that the constant communication is there so we can get on the same page as quickly as possible. Obviously didn't get a whole lot of reps in OTAs. But, again, he's a very cerebral guy. He understands what he's doing. He's very good at his craft. And I trust what he says and what he's telling me. So it's going to be a really good relationship, in my opinion.
What are the qualities about him that stand out to you as a receiver?
As a receiver? I mean, separation that he can create with his feet. I think that his off the line, just the way that he's really taken ownership of it, and he cares about his craft. He's just an easy guy to throw to, body language, eyes, and I feel like his catch radius is some of the best I've been around.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know I've never seen all 10 primary offensive linemen returning the team. It goes without saying how important it is, but can you take us into what that can mean for an offense when you have all those guys back with you?
It means a lot. I mean, in terms of how they communicate throughout the game and things that we've seen over the last couple of years. They can communicate and talk like, hey, remember when we ran this concept against X back in 2022? Like, they just have that communication, that camaraderie. It's an O-line that's extremely close. They're a tight-knit group. It's fun to be around them. They make being at work and being out in the huddle very fun, and I'm very proud to lead these guys and to be the quarterback for them because they make my life so much easier.
Josh, have you reflected at all on the last season at the stadium and the memories that you have there?
Not really. I tend to kind of skip some of the sentimental stuff, and as a quarterback, we're trained to go to the next play and really not like whether it was good or bad. Like we got a play to do on the next play and try to go up there and execute it. So rarely do I look back and think about some of the good times I had there. But I mean, it's been an awesome stadium. I just know the fans are ready for something new, but hopefully we can end the season on a bang.
How do you change? Well, I know how you change that narrative, but how do you deal with going into this season knowing that the Kansas City Chiefs are still hanging over this team's head in that sense that you still haven't gotten past them when it counts?
I mean, we can only control what we can control, and that's this training camp right now, and it's no time like the present. So again, we don't think about that as much as people tend to think. Ultimately, we know that it probably runs through them in the playoffs, as it has the last 6-7 years, right? So again, we just have to continue to keep putting our best foot forward and not focusing on the results, but enjoying the process and going from there.
Have you changed what you think you need leading into week one over the years? You know, I mean, I know you don't necessarily determine playing time. That's up to coach. But have you changed maybe over the last few years, even with 3 preseason games versus 4, like where you need to be on what timeline before you're ready for week one?
I think every season differs. And again, I'm just going to do as coach tells me to. And if I play 10 snaps, I play 10 snaps. If I play a whole quarter or a whole half, I play a whole quarter or a whole half. And I think that's, again, that's just the quarterback in me is like, hey, I'm just going to do what coach says. And this year, maybe need more, maybe need less. I don't know until we get there.
Josh, what's the message you're giving to your team right now?
Sorry. Say it again.
What's the message you're giving to your team right now?
Again, just put your head down and work. It's 2.5 weeks in camp. They go quick. But, I mean, you can really show who you are as a person, as a player, over these next 2.5 weeks. And, again, everything that we do is centered around the team and building this team. And, you know, it's different than college. I think everybody knows that, but just hearing that from some of the guys, just like, hey, like, there's no distractions here, right? Like, let's tune everything out. Give me 2.5 weeks of everything that you got, and we'll go from there.
Any front runners in the dorm games?
In the dorm games, Dawson and Spencer won the 2 games of Catan last night. A little bit of collusion going on. They sat right next to each other, so stay away from that. But it's early. We like to switch up how I play and let them feel like they get a little lead and then just yank the rug. So, thank you guys.
Thanks, Josh.
up, John? How's your golf game?
Not good.
Not good? Didn't improve?
No, it went the other direction. Amazingly
Oh,
enough.
can you believe it? How does that affect on people?
Lessons, let me know. We won the championship.
Well, there's a protest, I heard. Yeah. We're looking into it. You guys had like 7 guys on your team.
What has been your communication up to this point with James? And obviously we know now he's here practicing. Can you kind of take us through the timeline of getting here?
Yeah, I mean, nothing's really, James and his representatives and Kevin Meegink, myself, speaking kind of for both of us, because sometimes Kevin's having the conversation with them, sometimes it's me, sometimes it's just an email, whatever it is. But no, when James came in for the mandatory camp, we spoke. We've always had a good relationship, and as I've said all along, I love James Cook. I want nothing more. You know how I am. I want to draft, develop, re-sign her on. It is a business. We have to fit it in, not only cash but cap, and sometimes it's not. You can look at it and say, well, you go to this website or whatever, they could fit them in if they did this and this, but we also have to look at 26, 27, and beyond, because you can walk yourself into one of those years where you're like, oh man, there's not a lot of guys we can take down in those years. We would have to trade or cut someone that we wouldn't want to lose. So it's not only 2025 when we're doing a deal with him or any other player. So all those things have to make sense for us to fit it in. But love James. He looks good. You can tell he's been working. I thought he looked good in June camp, and I think everyone knows I'm going to have an open dialogue with the players. That's just who I am, and we'll let the business take care of itself.
What does it say to you that he's here on the field doing every drill? I mean, there's people out there, even last night, national reporters saying, well, he could hold in or something like that. But he's here, he's doing everything. What does it say to you?
James is a competitive dude. He's a stud. He's a great teammate. Like, he wants to be here. He loves ball. So many of the things that we learned about James through the scouting process, and it's been fun to watch him grow and mature on and off the field. He's got a calmness to him. Of course, who doesn't want to get paid? And that's the hard part of this job is I do want to pay them all. I mean, I really do, especially the ones that they're working hard, they're producing on the field, their teammates love them, the fans love them. Like James fits Buffalo, but sometimes, you can't get on the same page, or sometimes you're trying to fit it in, or there's times guys have left here that we really wanted. We just couldn't make it work. But I can tell you, I'm hopeful when we're sitting here at next year's training camp that James Cook is out there practicing, and still representing the red, white, and blue.
You drafted a lot of guys on defense. This is like another step in the offseason, big step. What's it like for you to watch them out there first day of camp? A big group of guys you brought in.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's different here. When I say here, not in Rochester, in 2025 because of the rules. I mean, I was literally talking with Ryan Nielsen yesterday. We were talking about even how the conditioning test has changed, where these guys come off vacation and they're running like 16 to 20 gassers, and then the next morning, I mean, I remember with John Fox, like these guys would go down and John would have like a goal line period at some point the first day of practice. I mean, these guys were on a beach 5 days ago potentially, and now they're clashing it. So it's for the better. It's kind of an extension of OTA's mandatory camp, but it's good to have everybody. It's a different purpose when you're here. Guys know it's, I'm closing in on kind of the first big test, which is preseason game 1. Even the red and blue game that we do over there, we do some live stuff to simulate game type situations.
How concerned are you with Dawson Knox and Spencer?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you'd love to have. We got 91. You'd love to have all 91 fresh, ready to go. Dawson was training the other day and tweaked it. He knows his body, and so he'll do everything. And he knows this offense. He knows this team. He and Josh have a a great rapport together. So, until he's back out there, you always have some concern. But I feel that the medical team and him have a good idea of what it's going to take, and hopefully get him back out there sooner rather than later. And Spencer, the same, back flared up a little bit on him. We want to be cautious. It's always different now versus in season. Now you're going to try to be more cautious. You get in season, you're like, hey, I think I can get him out. I think I can get out there. Maybe I can only do a Friday practice and play in the game. So I think we have to realize it's July the whatever it is, 23rd today. Let's don't rush something and constantly have setbacks. So hopefully we'll get him back out there soon.
Josh said he was minding his language, knowing you were mic'd up. I know you were mic'd up. How do you deal? How have you dealt with that? And how do you think this team deals with the additional scrutiny?
The good thing, John, is I don't have to worry about my language ever. You know that, right? No, it's, we want to be, with this thing, we're always doing stuff mic'd up. It's the way of the world. So I think you're kind of used to it in some ways. And I think, as you guys know, our team, the Buffalo Bills, we want to be authentic. We got nothing to hide. We want to make this a very positive experience. And will there be an intrusive thing here or there? Of course, but it's all in the preseason, and I don't expect any issues or anything like that. And we'll all work together and make sure it's a good product for our fans. That's what we want. It's an inside look at our team, our staff, and how we do things and how we develop a team, how we pare down a roster to go play hopefully a 17-plus game season.
How does this get you better? I mean, it seems it could. The worst case, best case scenario is it's not a distraction. Worst case, it is a distraction. How does this get this team better?
Well, there's always things, John. I mean, I think, I think coming out here with fans is good because you're competing. People are cheering. I mean, and guys, I don't care who it is. I don't care if your parents are out there or your neighbors out there watching you play pickup basketball. You don't want them to think you're a loser or that you got beat on a rep. And so you're going to play your you-know-what off every day. And so sometimes, when we had the years we couldn't come here due to COVID, those were long stretches from when we reported to camp till the first game. And so I think it's good here that we have fans. It keeps it fresh. Guys are coming out there and they don't want to lose. And you see guys celebrating in the end zone like it's a real game, whether the offense or defense made a play.
What was it like navigating the negotiation with T.J. Sanders, given the holding pattern with second-round picks, and your reaction to getting that deal done in time for him to be on the field?
Yeah, I mean, it's very important. He's technically the first holdout we've had since I've been here, even though it was just while we were working out. And, I busted his agent's chops. I said, of course you had to do this. I was trying to keep a clean record here, but Drew Rosenhaus, we've had a long-time relationship, and it was tough. I think the union was, putting a lot of stipulations on the agents to meet some certain markers with the fourth-year guarantee and the percentages and where they wanted them to go. But he and Kevin Meegink did a great job and got it done. And TJ was in Buffalo, which was great. Sometimes these guys are somewhere else. You got to get them on the plane. We got it done last Thursday night at 9:30, and TJ was texting me at 7 a.m. I'm in the building. Tell me when you're ready to come up and sign this thing and roll. So glad to have him, and he did a good job this summer of keeping himself ready to go and ready for an NFL training camp.
It's been a couple years since we've seen a fully healthy Trey White at camp. He wasn't here last year. Then before that, he was rehabbing from injuries. What's it like for you to see him out there, fully healthy, being himself?
Yeah, I think I found myself as a fan today. Trey made a play. I think it was on Elijah Moore, and knocked the ball down. And he came back over there and was standing to me. And I don't ever cheer for either side. I'm just kind of watching it. But I was like, I see you 2-7. And he was like, man, it's good to be home. I'm around family. And it resonates with you. Like, we're all more comfortable when we're around people, we trust and we enjoy being around. And I think Trey, embodies that. And, the business part, we were talking about it with James, the business part stinks sometimes. It really does. We did not want to part ways with Trey White for any reason last year, but the business got in the way. We had get our cap in order and make a lot of tough moves, including Trey. But it's fun to see him. I see him confident. I bet you he's going to, I'm never going to bet against Trey White. I bet you we're going to consistently see him continue to do that. And he knows there's good competition, too, that brings out the best in all of us. So it's going to be fun to watch, the DBs. Obviously, Christian has solidified himself over there. But it's going to be fun. And if something happens to one of them, I feel we've got a good group. Whoever it is that doesn't win that starting job opposite him will be ready when their number's called.
Where do you stand at punter? You made a move yesterday and have one right now, but you can stick with one, or where do things stand there?
Yeah, we hated to make the move. I wanted to continue that with Jake, and unfortunately, due to some of the injuries that Josh asked me about a while ago, your hand kind of gets forced. You're trying to prevent a domino effect of getting thin. In that case, we signed a tight end, and so you're looking, where do you get a spot, and you don't get a freebie. So that's where we had to go. Doesn't mean we wouldn't bring him back at some point. And I think Brad knows that. Like, Brad knows he's still got to compete and show his best and earn that spot here.
Hey, Brandon, last year you set a franchise record for points. No sacks, no turnovers. But what can the offense do to be better? What do you think has to happen to make it even better?
That's a great question. I don't know what's. I mean, maybe we didn't connect on as many deep balls. We took some shots, but that may be an area. But I mean, if you can, it's hard to replicate those few turnovers and to score that many points. Usually, when you're scoring points, you're ripping the ball around, and there's going to be some tip balls, some a sack fumble here or there, and what Joe Brady and Josh and all of our offense did with the ball was remarkable. We can't expect that. We hope it's there from a lack of turnovers this year, but sometimes the ball bounces your way too, and I think it did for the most part. But I think you just continue to hone in on the skill, on the fine-tuned details. Be as balanced as we can. I thought we were pretty balanced last year, but be as balanced. We got some new pieces that we've added, and a Josh Palmer, Elijah Moore, same running backs. The tight ends, we added a Jackson Halls to the group, but there's a lot of stability, but there's still a few new pieces, and hopefully Keon will take off in year 2. Curtis Samuel was a little dinged up a little bit. Thought he had a good spring. Hopefully, all that, if we can get continuity there, we can come out of the gates fast.
Brandon, what's something you've noticed about the maturity that Josh Allen is bringing into his 8th season?
Yeah, I mean, he's. I was literally talking to Ronald Curry a while ago. Josh, as we know, is super competitive, and there's always, we don't have officials out here. We do a little bit, but there's not a lot of flags, and there was probably some tugs on some plays that are incomplete. That as a quarterback, he wants to complete those, and you see him giving a little sign, but he's not like mouthing back. He's kind of like, I know I would have got that in there. The rest would have called that if he did that. You see a calm, confident dude. He knows what he has to do in the off season. He's always prepared when he shows up. He's not coming here unprepared, and I think his teammates, when he's in the huddle, they're as calm as ever, just having Josh Allen in there.
Brandon, has anything changed from the team perspective on Maxwell Harrison with the civil suit from earlier this month?
No. Catherine, it's frustrating. I think I reiterated that after the draft. It's frustrating because, in the legal world, you can't sit there and say things back and forth. You got to let it go. But this happened to this young man, over 4 years ago. He gave up his phone, to prove some of his. He took polygraph test. This kid didn't run from anything. He answered every single thing. We did that. We have to remember in society that people can make accusations and do things, and I have no idea what the agenda is there, but I can tell you every stone we turned over, every door we looked behind, this is a very good young man. A young man you would let in your house, you would let watch your kids, hang out with whoever. Like, he is genuinely a good person. He's got sisters, he's got a mother, he's got a great family, raised the right way. I've met his parents, I've met his close family. You know, I would feel terrible if that someone said that about one of my sons. And I think we need to remember in the world, like, sometimes these guys, I'm not going to get into it, but we see these accusations. Sometimes these guys can be victims too. They make a lot of money. And I just want to make sure rarely do people defend them. And that's hard for me in this seat sometimes because I've seen it. We've had it here with a player here a few years ago that's no longer here that was wrongly accused. And it's frustrating. And anyone that's met Maxwell Harrison genuinely knows what a great young man he is.
I know it's only day one of training camp. The season hasn't started yet, but it's this franchise, as much success as you've had, the one thing that's been hanging over the franchise is you can't get to that ultimate game. I know it's day one, but I mean, how better suited is this team, do you think, to overcome that hump and get through?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've said it before, John. Ultimately, you got to go out and do it. You do. But every time you get knocked down, like, we have a group of competitive dudes, and I'm talking about Sean McDermott, Joe Brady, Bobby Babich, Josh Allen, Terrell Bernard, like Ed Oliver. You go down the list of the players that have been here through some of these painful moments. And, you know, I'm a firm believer that you keep swinging the sword, you keep fighting, you do not give in, you work harder. Like, you use that frustration. And I can tell you, of course Josh Allen was happy to win the MVP. Who wouldn't be? But he would trade that all day, every day to hoist that Lombardi. And, you know, he's the tip of the spear for us, and we believe in that. His teammates believe in that. And we believe in this coaching staff, and we believe in our organization and the plan. And I sat in, you know, some of the initial meetings yesterday with Sean, and I thought, you know, his message, Terry Pagula had a great message, Sean had a great message, and, you know, now it's just a matter of, this is a new team. We got to form that bond. That's why we love coming up here, get away, eliminate distractions here for 2.5 weeks, and then take it home, finish the preseason out, pare it down to 53, and kind of start that journey.
What did it do for Dalton Kincaid to spend much of his offseason in Orchard Park working?
Yeah, I mean, he exactly exemplifies what I was just talking about our team. Like, Dalton had a really strong finish to his rookie year, and then last year was sailing along, has the injury, plays through it, doesn't want to complain about it. You know, maybe people question, you know, what's his talent level or things like that. They don't understand the toughness that he fought through. And, you know, the ball that landed on the turf in Kansas City, like, I mean, that eats it. He's a competitor, and the thing about Dalton is he wants that opportunity again. And no one in this building doubts. No one's going to not try and give him that opportunity again, starting with Joe Brady, starting with Josh Allen. Like, he's going to get his opportunities. We need Dalton Kincaid to go where we're trying to go, and exciting. It was exciting to see his work ethic this offseason and what he did. Even when we broke for the summer, like, he, for the most part, still hung around. And no, I'm excited for him. He's getting better and better, and I think he'll be ready to roll once it's time to get going.
Brandon, I asked Josh about having all 10 offensive linemen back from last year, main guys, which is pretty rare. But you extrapolate that out, the offense, pretty rare having very few guys gone. I think Amari and Mack are really the only ones who left the roster. How does that happen from your seat? It's got to be pretty rare that you've seen as well to have that many guys and that few changeover on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you want continuity the best you can. It's hard in this business. I don't know if we've had this is my 28th season in the league starting. I don't know that I've been on a team that's had that many returning O-line. Let's just start there. I don't even know how many times we had all the same backs back, you know, I mean, all the way down to Darrington Evans and Frank Gore, like literally all of them. You're right. It's, you know, we lost Quentin Morris and we drafted Jackson Halls and signed Latu. But, yeah, you love continuity. It helps you get on the same page of music quicker. And I think that can help us, but we can't rest on our laurels. Like, we still have to find ways to get better. People are going to study us, watch what we do. And so that's the task of Joe Brady and his staff, is to come up with new wrinkles, new looks, new ways to attack the different teams that we're going to face.
How have you seen?
How do you view like which Trubisky is and like maybe some competition for that backup job going into camp?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of confidence in Mitch. We really do. I know, the people were maybe mention, well, certain days Mike went with it. Like, we're trying to ultimately, we want as much competition as we can. We want to give as many people as many opportunities as we can. But at the same time, Mitch has been here 2 full seasons with us. If you go back to 2021, and if Josh went down in a game, we were very confident in him last year. If he went down now, we'd be very confident in Mitch. At the same time, we want to give, Mike and Shane opportunities to show what they can do. And, ultimately, like at every position, the best man will hold that job. But we have a lot of confidence in Mitch.
Brandon, where do you stand right now on potential conversation with Connor McGovern for extension?
Yeah, I mean, like anything, we got multiple guys. We talked about James and love Connor. Similar comment to James. I would love for, next year at this time, for Connor McGovern to still be, wearing the Bills uniform. And he did a great job year one in his transition to center for us. Obviously played guard before that. Josh has got a lot of confidence. Aaron Cromer and Joe. I'll keep the business part, in-house, but love Connor. Glad he's back for another year, and we'll see where that goes.
How have you seen Joe Brady evolve?
Joe is, Joe is just, I don't know about evolve, but you just feel his confidence and his energy even more. I mean, Joe went through a tough deal in Carolina. Joe was the hot name coming out of LSU. Carolina hires him, and things didn't work out there well, and I'm sure he would take ownership in his role in that. I don't think it was all on Joe by any means. But it was fun to get Joe in here, and I'd heard good things about him from the people I knew in Carolina when we, brought him here to be our QB coach. And I just think he, it's another year. It's, the more years you go through these things, you develop battle scars and you learn. And I would like to think, you guys may disagree, but I would like to think, I know more now than I knew in 2017, 2018. You just learn from some of your, I call it laps around the track, and you can't expedite it. And so I see a confident yet hungry guy like, Joe wants to win that title too. And, the thing about Joe that is very hard is when you make the playoffs, he had people calling his name, and that can be a distraction. And Joe was, if you're a fan here, you would love Joe Brady, how he handles it. Like, he is not like putting things off. He's not holding up a staff meeting. He's not waiting to draw up plays for, that Ravens playoff game or the Chiefs. Like, he is all in on the Buffalo Bills, to the point when he was the quarterback coach, like, he turned down interviews for an OC because we were still playing. He is dialed in for the Buffalo Bills, and I've seen people not handle it as well in my time, and it's hard. I don't blame him, but I think he's got a unique approach with the guys. He kind of walks around and, he's got this swagger to him. He'll have his headphones on sometimes, but he also knows when to get firm, and I think that's some of what makes good coaches is guys who know when to kid, and he's still doing what Mac Hollins did, walking around here barefooted, and players love that. Like, he's a part of them, but he also knows when to put his thumb down and say, hey, that wasn't good enough. And so it's been fun to watch his maturation.
Brandon, the continuity that is mentioned on the offensive side of the ball, obviously defensively is much different. When you're integrating so many players from your draft class and free agents onto that side of the ball, what are the keys in seeing that come together in time for the first month of the season?
Yeah, it's time on task. You hope that, you can stay healthy, guys that – missing reps together. And it's not just their reps, it's their reps. This is a true team game, 11 on 11. It's not tennis, golf. So not only are they missing their reps, they're missing their reps next to their teammate. And it can be, sometimes it can be just those simple nuances. You don't even have to say anything. You can just give your teammate the look or whatever signal it is. So it's really just time on task, going through some things. There's going to be some ups and downs, but hopefully we work through those here through the preseason. And, it's on us to pick the right group to make this roster. I think there's going to be a lot of competition at some of those spots, which is fun. It's fun, and but it just takes time. Thank you, guys.
Catherine, I'll do the first.